Check. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly rise for the Honourable Governor. I request you all to remain standing for the national anthem. I request you all to please be seated. Jai Hind and a very warm welcome to Lieutenant General K.T. Parnaik, PVSM, UYSM, YSM, Honourable Governor of Arunachal Pradesh and Patron of IIEBM Trust, Mrs. Anaga Parnaik, the First Lady of the State, Colonel Shah, Colonel Vinod Marwa, Founder and President and Managing Trustee of IIEBM, our MD, Dr. Jai Singh, our Dean, Dr. Poonam Nikam, Mrs. Namrata Giani, Founder Principal, Indus Champ School, Colonel Ravindra, faculty members and all the students present here. I, Andrea D'Souza, MC for today's gathering, welcome you all. No great man lives in vain. The history of the world is but the biography of great men. It's my honor to introduce Lieutenant General K.T. Parnaik. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed? Thank you, sir. Lieutenant General K.T. Parnaik, PVSM, UYSM, YSM, is the Honourable Governor of Arunachal Pradesh and has served in the Army for more than 4 decades. Sir is an alumnus of Sainik School Rewa and the National Defence Academy. On 31st March 1972, he was commissioned in the Rajputana Rifles, a regiment renowned for its valor during the Battle of Tololing. During the challenging Operation Parakram on the line of control, he led an infantry brigade in the demanding environment of the Kupwara sector. Additionally, he served as the commander of the 17th Mountain Division in Sikkim, the Indian Military Training Team IMT-RAT in Bhutan, and the 4 Corps in the Northeast. In his illustrious military career, Lieutenant General K.T. Parnaik held prestigious staff appointments in military intelligence, operation, and logistic directorates at the integrated headquarters of the Ministry of Defense Army. He also served on a United Nations mission in Angola and as the Director General of the Perspective Planning Directorate focusing on the modernization and transformation of the Indian Army. In recognition of his exceptional leadership and operational excellence, he was honored with the Yudh Seva Medal during Operation Parakram in 2003 and the Uttam Yudh Seva Medal during Operation Rhino in 2010. During his tenure as the commander of the Northern Army in Jammu and Kashmir, he implemented a strategy of perception management to foster peace in the region. His outstanding vision and strategic initiatives led him being awarded the Param Vishishta Seva Medal in 2012 in Jammu and Kashmir. Your exemplary conduct of operations and strategic vision has inspired us all, and we honor your commitment to upholding the values of duty, honor, and courage. Lieutenant General K.T. Parnaik, Colonel Vinod Marwa, and Colonel Shah are distinguished alumnus of Sainik School Rewa, a renowned educational institute. We are also fortunate to have Colonel Ravindra, ex-principal of the same school, amidst us. I would now like to request Colonel Vinod Marwa to felicitate the Honourable Governor of Arunachal Pradesh. Thank you, sir. Sir, I am proud to inform you that an alumni of our college has secured funding on Shark Tank for his innovative product, Blue Tea. I now request Dr. Jai Singh to present this Blue Tea to our patron of IIEBM. We are honored to have amidst us Mrs. Anaga Parnaik, the First Lady of the state. I would now like to request Mrs. Marwa to felicitate ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I would now like to request Dr. Jai Singh to felicitate Colonel Shah. Thank you, sir. Before we advance, we will now have a song played titled, We Are the Infantry.
हर कतरा कतरा खून का देश पे है कुर्बान, इन्फेंट्री के वीर हैं हम नाज़े हिंदुस्तान। इन्फेंट्री के जवान, हम इन्फेंट्री के जवान। चलते हैं सीना तान के, हमारे हौसले हैं चट्टान। इन कदमों में आंधी पले है मुट्ठी में तूफान। शेर जिगर फौलाद है हम हिंद की है संतान। कदमों के तले रौंद चले दुश्मन का अभिमान। इन्फेंट्री के जवान, हम इन्फेंट्री के जवान। पलटन से पहचान है, पलटन है हमारी शान। जीते हैं निभाने के लिए हम नाम नमक और निशान। हम नाम नमक और निशान, हम नाम नमक और निशान। कर्म हमारा धर्म है और दीन है देश की आन। हर सांस हमारी वतन से रवा है, नस नस में बलिदान। इन्फेंट्री के जवान, हम इन्फेंट्री के जवान। जब जब दुश्मन की नजर उठी, गूंजी जब रण में नगार, खड़े रक्षक बन के ढाल तेरी। माँ सुन के तेरी पुकार, माँ सुन के तेरी पुकार। जय माँ काली आयो और भारी, वीर मद्रासी अडिकुल अडिकुल। जय माँ भवानी जो बोले सोनिहार, सात श्री अकाल। जो बोले सोनिहार, सात श्री अकाल। क्षण क्षण कण कण रणभूमि का करता है गौरव गान। निश्चय कर अपनी जीत कर माँ देना ये वरदान। अब ही रण में तब झूंझ मरूं जब आव की हो निधान। कट जाए भले मेरा शीश माँ, ना झुके तेरा सम्मान, ना झुके तेरा सम्मान। तेरे भारत देश महान, तेरा भारत देश महान। हर कतरा कतरा खून का देश में है कुर्बान। इन्फेंट्री के वीर हैं हम नाज़े हिंदुस्तान। इन्फेंट्री के वीर हैं हम नाज़े हिंदुस्तान। इन्फेंट्री के जवान, हम इन्फेंट्री के जवान।
Like the motto of Sainik School River with Veya Balam meaning knowledge is power, I now request the patron of IIEBM Trust, Lieutenant General K.T. Parnaik, to share your words of wisdom with everyone present here.
Kal Marwa, founding patron of IIEBM, Jay, the MD, the entire management staff, and dear students. I can't say how proud and pleased I am to be here sharing this stage with you after a long time, and I've just been briefed by the establishment about the activities of IIEBM, and I dare say that I am very impressed with what is going on here, especially the extension of the college. The accomplishments over the last few years have indeed taken IIEBM to a new level, and you are all very fortunate to be a part of this institution, which has adapted itself to management techniques using the armed forces logic and discipline. I think it is one of the rarest things that has happened in the educational curriculum anywhere in this country, that a school or a college or an institution is being run with that patriotic fervor and feeling. I gave you a small example of what the soldiers of this country can do or they are doing, and I can tell you that this is the ethos and this is the spirit with which they are guarding the country today. And there is no army or the armed forces in the world that has the experience and the achievements that our own armed forces have. We have fought numerous wars after our independence. We have fought in difficult terrains, climates, environments. We are fighting a battle across the borders. We are fighting terrorism within. We are the first responders without being first responders for any disaster in the country. We are always ready to assist, help, and ensure that national assets are protected and people are protected above all. There is no example of any army anywhere in the world carrying out these duties, from the deserts of Rajasthan to the glaciers of J&K. The experience of leadership and management of men, material, of situations that we have, most others don't. So whatever I am going to tell you is out of my experience of my long stay that I've had in the most wonderful army we have, and I'll try and relate it to the management aspects of what you are students today. As I said, I am very impressed with the new specializations which have been introduced in the college: business analytics, enterprise resource planning, supply chain management, and all that. I have had 8-9 years of experience after I retired. I was MD of a technology company, and we were making software applications for defense. So with that little background knowledge, I'll try and weave a thread to suggest or to say what should be the way that we, you and I, conduct ourselves so that we derive the most out of our education being imparted here and aspire to become good leaders, good motivators, and good inventors of our country. Uh, I'll start by saying that corporate world and the defense has got a symbiotic relationship, which I want to explain to you. Now, the corporate creates jobs, it provides financial stability, and it innovates. The armed forces also create jobs, but they create traditions and ethos. While the corporates contribute to the nation building by doing what they are doing, the armed forces contribute to the nation building by providing security to the borders of the country. So while the corporates explore, invent, and manufacture, the armed forces integrate, cooperate, lead, and deliver. There is a very subtle difference in what I am saying. One is a finance-oriented organization creates assets. The other is security-oriented organization which provides security. Cooperation is driven by demand. The demands drive corporates to provide new things to the citizens, whereas the military establishment is driven by the need to secure the borders, the need to ensure peace, the need to ensure good governance, and the need to ensure the security and safety quotient of its population. This is a relationship which has led the corporate world to borrow a lot of good things from the armed forces. In the sphere of management, a lot of things which are today being talked of as basic necessities for managers, a lot of it has been imbibed from the armed forces, and I'm so happy it has been imbibed, it has been transformed, and it is being used in a different way, but the logic is same. When we talk of management as an overview, in the emerging, evolving situation that we have around us, a lot is changing. The way and means of doing business in yesteryears at the time when we became independent and what we have today, there is a huge difference. We were an agri-based country. Today, we remain an agri-based, but we are a technology-driven country as well. So there is a huge technological infusion which has taken place in the country. Whether you talk of business analytics, artificial intelligence, IoT, BOT, and what have you. So not only in the business parlance, it has also affected the way in which modern weapons and munitions are being delivered. There is more emphasis on laser beam weapon systems, anti-satellite weapon system, the ability to use the drones in swarms against targets. So these are all modern methods of fighting a modern war. And what you are seeing are modern methods of perceiving how business is to be conducted and to be done. And it is therefore imperative that the business management has to conform to the norms. You have to conform to the environmental management and safety. You have to conform to the aspect of ease of operating whatever we manufacture and produce. You have to conform to the idea of facilitation. So whatever is being invented, whatever is being manufactured and produced, not only helps us tide over our daily needs, but it gives us this challenge to make it simpler, faster, and more affordable. And that is the underlying substance for what the business management is going to do. There is a huge change in the way economics and e-commerce generates activity. Today, e-commerce has caught on in a big way. You have people who deliver things to your house. You have facility to order and receive various things on the net, you are enabled. It saves time, it saves you the worry of going and standing in a queue somewhere. So this is what modern trends are taking you to. And that is why when you are learning your business tricks or various aspects of business are being taught, you have to keep in mind that there are certain imperatives as far as the rules by which the business is guided today. So I can try and focus on some of these aspects. I think a lot of this is being taught to you. Whatever I say may not sound very new, but I will put it in a story form by which I feel it will be easier for you to understand. So, what is it that drives the business? That's the basic question. Simple question. The answer is also very simple. It's a matter of demand and supply. What was purely a demand and supply today has also got related to consumerism. It is not the demand which is generating supplies. Today it is the supplies which are enhancing the demand. You find new gadgets in the market, you find new methods in the market, you find whether it is adventure, whether it is household work, there are new gadgets, there are new things which are compelling you to buy them, to save time, to make it more effective. So business is getting little more complicated than what it was so many years back. However, some things never change. Innovations, we've talked of one of you getting in the Shark Tank. If you watch Shark Tank, it's a very inspiring program which is aired on the TV. Young people like you are inventing. They are trying to make things easy by manufacturing products or introducing ways and means that can help you to carry out certain processes. So the B students have to learn and imbibe and sharpen their, your abilities in three spheres: design, manufacture, and sell. Now, to be able to design, you need passion, you need thought, you need out-of-the-box understanding. Those who have that are able to get an original design. Manufacturing needs technology, needs better understanding of the technology which can enable you to do some good manufacturing, which is long-lasting, dependable, and it serves the purpose. And as far as selling is concerned, which is one part of the business, it's an art. So the three things combine: passion, technology, and art. So you have an art, you have a science, and you have to have your own passion. These three things drive the business in any which way. And it is for you to understand, when you are looking at the skill sets that you're going to develop, are you imbibing these three skill sets or not? Are you learning the importance and understanding its implication from the knowledge that you have gained, which will take you places? So let's take some of these attributes and see what they comprise. And the first one, of course, the MC mentioned, was knowledge. And she also gave an example of our school motto, Vidyeva Balam, knowledge is power, which is true. Knowledge is also the growth engine for progress. But there is a subtle difference between learning and understanding. You learn from your books, from your pamphlets, which helps you to clear your exams. That is one aspect of learning. Understanding means your ability to understand the fundamentals, understand the logic behind what is being taught to you. And those who understand this, they grow places because you are able to practically use the knowledge to create things, to be able to use them, practically apply them in your daily life. Therefore, knowledge is twofold. One is bookish, one is by experience. What you get by experience comes from case studies, comes from personal experiences, comes on hands down experiences that you have when you do certain jobs, and it involves inquisitiveness. This is one trait which, in my own reckoning, I find is dilute. Whatever is taught to you in the class, you generally shake your head and you say, I understand. Whether you have actually understood or not, only time will tell. So, inquisitiveness is also an art of carrying out pre-study of your class next day, underlining things which you haven't really understood, and then having the courage to ask the teacher, tell me something more about this. I haven't. What does this mean? Your inquisitiveness will take you to the next level. And that also shows that your mind is functioning, wanting to learn more. The human brain is the best computer the world has. It contains, I don't know how many terabytes of capability. It is able to compute in micro milliseconds. You put your hand on a burning stove and it comes back 1/100th of a second. You have reflex actions. Your motor nerves are reflexes that give you sudden reaction to certain things. So inquisitiveness will also make you realize the be all and end all of anything that is being explained to you. Try and be inquisitive. And the other way of looking at is that, like all computers, if you haven't absorbed, it is garbage in and garbage out. So it will not make sense. And you hear a lot of people today on the media, news around you, you don't understand what they are actually speaking, and sometimes it is not making sense. So that is not the kind of knowledge that you need to imbibe. Now, amongst these skill sets of knowledge is one skill set which is perception. We were talking about it recently. Perception is the way you perceive a thing, and perception is also something that you want somebody to perceive the way you perceive. If your 10 people are listening to some dialogue which is being given to you, or some sermon which is given to you, your perception of that sermon will depend on what you understand and know. But if you were to give the same sermon and make them understand, you will first have to realize whom are you speaking to. What is their own educational capability? What environment are they coming from? Are you speaking to rural people? Are you speaking to people who are not educated? Are you speaking to experts? Then you will have to accordingly put your words in a way that your perception is conveyed. Perception is also a branch of management. You can use it to manage certain things. We'll come to that later. The other thing which knowledge teaches you is your failures. A lot of us get very disheartened when you fail to do or complete or fail to accomplish what has been given to you. But let me say that failure is a way of learning how to do it better. If you think positive, your attitude is right, you will pick up that failure, analyze it every which way, and then decide that I must do this thing differently. And there has to be that will to succeed. Try and try again until you succeed. So that is also one method of imbibing knowledge. And the last aspect I want to touch upon is very frequently spoken of dreaming. I had a big dream. those who dream big, they go big. You hear of these statements now and then. But if you analyze it, these dreams are not those dreams that you get at night when you're asleep. These are those dreams which you dream while you are awake. It is those dreams which are here, they are embedded in your head, that one day I have to become X, Y, Z. And you then start finding a way how to do it. So your ability to manage events around you, your ability to acquire that knowledge, your ability to get an expertise on certain field is a part of your dream. Everyone must dream. And it is a dream which comes to you, which is to be kept to yourself. We don't go on a hailer and say, I dreamt today that I am going to become a millionaire tomorrow. The people will laugh at you. But if your dream was indeed to become a millionaire, you work towards it, maybe not today, 5 years, 10 years down the line, you will be one. You've read those books, the guy who sold that Ferrari. You've read many other books of how rags to riches stories were written and continue to be written even today. So your dreams need to be aligned with your passion, with your knowledge and your intent. If you have all three things right, those dreams will come true. But remember, it is always one step at a time. There is no jumping the gun, there is no fast promotion to reach there. There are no shortcuts. The last one is knowledge comes by investing in time. Knowledge comes by reading and knowledge comes by writing. They say if you read books, it enriches your soul. The books teach you a lot. You learn the content, you learn the articulation of the language, and you also learn how well it is put across, which is appealing to you or not appealing to you. So use that knowledge to write. You should all, because of these computers and mobiles, today we have forgotten the art of writing. But let me tell you that articulation basically comes through writing. Try and write a page on anything, your experiences, your friends, your activities, games, what you see. Sit down, take 5 minutes and without any interference, write down one page, put it in your notebook and forget it. Open that after 2-3 days and read it aloud. You will yourself realize that it could have been better. Think of an audience to whom you are addressing and telling him these things, whether it is going to jail or it is not going to jail. Whether you are communicating what you want to or you are missing the point. The day you realize that what I have written is what I wanted to write, you are there. So, it is a kind of self-improvement which should be followed. The other things, of course, while you are studying here, if you want to do big, if you want to grow, you need to be proactive. You need to take additional responsibilities. Treat those as opportunities. A lot of people say that when you hit a bad patch, it's a bad omen, it's a bad luck, probably it was destined. You try to convince yourself by doing all this. But when you hit a bad patch, try and think that God has given you one more opportunity to understand why you failed. If you understand what you are thinking and if you take that in a positive way, I think it will help you a lot. And when you recover from that, you will be much wiser. You will be much wiser. Then the idea of skilling yourself is, today is the age of specialization. In our time it was generalization. We were jack of all trades, maybe master of none. Times have changed. You must decide what is the direction you are going to take. So you need to be master of something. which must be aligned to your passion, your desire and your dream. But general awareness is something that cannot be taken lightly. General awareness of the environment, awareness of the education, awareness of opportunities, awareness of what is happening in your country, good or bad, everything leads you to take lessons from there. There are other things like you meet somebody or you hear of somebody who has done something wonderful, go through his efforts to reach from here to there, and there is a lesson there also. You will realize that he reached there not just by luck, but there was a lot of hard work and perseverance which was involved. When we talk of skill sets, now skill sets are being taught to you almost every day, almost every period you go through that. So what are the skills you want to develop? The college will teach you all kinds of skills. They will teach you basic skills. They will teach you IT. They will teach you problem solving, general awareness, administration, logistics, etc. But the point is that these skills give you the basic understanding of a problem. What you need to develop if you are in the environment today and you are going out to join some sensible corporate which will give you the satisfaction, also pay you handsomely, then you have to align yourselves with those skill sets. There are certain skills which are imperative in today's world. I think the first thing that I am talking about is that you all need to be IT savvy. And IT savvy is not just about handling a computer and writing some files. You need to understand the technology of the IT. Because even commerce, logistics, everything functions on IT. I find that a lot of people, maybe of my generation and thereafter, they are IT shy. So when it comes to solving certain intricate problems, they take time to understand that and they get stuck. So the skill, as far as skill is concerned, being IT savvy is absolutely necessary. The second is organizational ability. You do a lot of things from when you start from your room to come to the classroom and do this. You need to keep your clothes, you need to have your things organized in your room, you need to ensure that when you're going out you're carrying the right things. When you come to the class you need to be prepared. Administrative ability gives a kind of logic to your body. Once you do it, you get used to it. Then you don't have to worry. Even if you have no time, you continue to do those things so that you are not worried or disturbed when you need those things to be. So administrative management is something which is important when you go on to do the jobs. Many technology oriented companies have this problem. They have the technology, they have the qualification, they have the guys who can code, they have the guys who can domain experts, but their administration is poor. If the administration is poor, then you are not at ease. Therefore, that ability and skill is very important. Logistics. Let me give you an example of the army. We've been fighting battles, we've fought many battles today. So what we have understanding as operational logistics is that we have many weapon systems. We have artillery, we have rockets, we have automatic weapons, we have tanks. So we have come to derive out of our experience the requirement of ammunition if we have to fight a war. And this ammunition is calculated in terms of how many days sustenance. It means if I am in a war situation, what I have will sustain me for 5 days. That is the amount of ammunition I have. But the war may last longer. So there is some ammunition which is lying with you, some is lying in depot, and the others has to be manufactured. So we were worried that, or if the war was expected to be lasting 10 days, we said we need 15 days off for the safety. So we realized that so much of ammunition could not be stored, because to store that ammunition, it was cost prohibitive. So slowly the realization dawned on the army that the provisioning of ammunition cannot be just in case. It has to be just in time. So logistics has this rule: if you play it just in case, then you overstock, you overinsure, and it leads to a lot of other troubles. But just in case logistics has to be properly managed. It means 5 days you are fighting, in 5 days the reserves kept in the depots are moving ahead, they reach you 2 days early, and in this 10 days time the industry has been able to give you 10 more days, which is moving to the depots. So this is known as a pull and push model. Pull is that you are fighting the battle, you have run out of ammunition and you say, come on, send me more. And then the people are running around. Push model is that the guy who fights doesn't have to look over his shoulders. It is the logistician sitting behind. He ensures that the correct amount of ammunition is provided to him, which is the push model. So this modeling in logistics is a huge issue which you have to understand. It actually helps you to economize, also helps you to streamline your processes. Adverse situations. You will always find adverse situations in whatever you do. So you should have the ability to solve problems. Impetuousness, anger, frustration, putting the blame on somebody else. You haven't done, that's why we suffered. Recrimination. You keep talking of it whole day, whole night. Aisa ho gaya, waisa ho gaya. That's the bad way of managing problems. Problem solving has to take your mind out of this cage and make you see what next can I do. If you have a positive attitude, you will find a way and mean to get it solved. So problem solving skills are very important when you go out and do your jobs. Leadership traits. Many technology oriented corporates have this problem of leadership. The people are extremely good in coding and developing software. But there is a confusion in who leads whom. There is a domain expert who is telling the developer what is to be done. Now that developer has his own mind. He codes it the way it is easy for him. When you go to PM and QE and you test it out, the domain rejects it. He says, I wanted this capability in this application, you haven't given me that. So he goes back to the drawing board. Now, had the domain expert explained to him in the way he understands and given him that line of coding, there was a leadership default. He would have ensured that whatever is being developed comes out in the form that is desirable. Therefore, leadership, ability to take decisions, ability to motivate your people and keep them as a team is a very big aspect wherever you go. It's not management, it is not army, it is in every field it is important. So people talk of types of leaderships. There is autocratic, there is democratic, then you have participative leadership, and you have directive style of leadership. No one leadership form is good or bad. A good leader generally possesses in some measure all these. But mostly in the corporate world, it is the participatory or the directive style of leadership which is effective. It means you consult everybody, you allow them to say what they have to say, then you take a decision. You don't impose things on them. You don't bully them that in 5 days I want you done, otherwise I'll sack you. It doesn't work. Value systems. Again, in anything that you do, there has to be a method of values and ethos. Your college has a very good vision. It has got an ethos, which I read again. I think you should read it once in 2 or 3 days. That ethos will tell you, it will guide you to be what you are supposed to be. So ethos says that you must instill discipline. You must. It says that there must be a knowledge skill. It says that you must value the subjects which are being taught. You must respect the teachers who are teaching you. All that, it is a part of your ethos. Follow the ethos. Create one of your own. And that is where again your passion and your intent to become something will lead you. But it is important that you have a value system. And the first thing in that value system is pride. Pride. Okay, close your eyes and tell me, how many of you really feel proud of your family? Raise your hands. Okay, as expected, everybody has pride for the family. Now, can this pride be extended to your college, to your section, to your institution, and finally to your nation? Somewhere down the line, the dilution takes place. So, pride is not something which is imbibed from somewhere, it is intrinsic. It comes from within. You know that if you do well, it will make your parents and your teachers very proud of you. That is pride. You know that if you do something, it will hurt and harm the reputation of your institution or your college or your group, then you need to rethink. So pride has to be connected with a sense of ownership and commitment both. If something goes wrong, I am responsible. If you succeed, it is your effort. That's the leadership. The leader always takes the blame for his team. He doesn't throw it. No, I had given instruction, but this guy or that girl didn't do it. It is not me. So you will try and keep repeating this everywhere. That is not leadership. Those are not value systems. It is not pride. So try and understand the value of pride in whatever you do. I think you need to understand that internally for yourself. You don't have to tell anybody anything. Discipline and motivation goes with pride. In Hindi, there are 3 simple words which dictate the way things can go right. Shikshit, Anushasit, Prerit. अगर आप शिक्षित हैं, आपका अनुशासन ठीक है, आपका मोटिवेशन अच्छा है, you have a solid platform to take off. और ये जिंदगी में आपको हमेशा काम में आएंगे. It will help you. Self-discipline, self-motivation is important. You have to look at yourself, what you can do. Empathy. Generally you sympathize with, अरे गरीब है, अरे इसको आता नहीं, चलो इसको. It is not that which is important. It is empathy. If he is lacking something, you make him do that and let him feel that I have done it. Help him, but don't spoil him. You have seen that if you give things in free to people, it has no value. हम लोग सोचते हैं we have done a big favor, हम मुफ्त में उसको बस का टिकट दे दिया, उधर चलेगा, ये हो गया. It doesn't have a value. He uses it, after that he forgets it. But if you enable him to do that on his own, he will remember you for life. So enabling is another skill set. It's part of leadership, it is part of motivation, it is part of team spirit. Imbibe these. So I've talked of a lot of things, I don't want to go on. The last thing I have on my plate is attitude. You know, somebody explained it nicely. Of course, what I am telling you has no logic, but he still explained it. That if you ascribe numerical value to the alphabets, A, B, C, D is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then add the points when you talk of courage, passion, victory, success, and what have you. They are all between 60 and 75. But when you write attitude, it is complete 100. 100. It is just a notion, but attitude is something which has a lot to do with your capability. Attitude is something which enables you to make friends or lose them. Attitude is something which allows you to circumvent a difficult problem, and lack of it will not allow you to solve it. Or if you show attitude, you are putting yourself in the harm's way. Attitude is your own personal possession. You have to use it and show it in the best possible way. If you are positive, if you are helpful, if you are motivated, your attitude automatically comes where it should be. So, dear friends, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I was trying to mix business with certain parameters which affect the business. It is something away from what is being taught to you in the school. I am sure some of it is being taught to you. So one day, I was a student like you. When I joined the school, my roll number was 13. Unlucky for some, they say. Not for me. It wasn't unlucky for me. So one day, you don't know today where you will be. Give yourself a chance to do what you should do. Time will take you there where you are destined. But good luck doesn't come by just praying and hoping. It comes to those who work for it. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure interacting with you. If you have any questions, I can answer. Anyone? Okay. Thank you very much. It's really been a pleasure interacting and speaking to you. And I hope and I wish that all of you succeed in your life. Do well for yourself. Be motivated, be cheerful, and always keep that smile on your face. It is the most infectious thing in this hall. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for imparting your knowledge and experience. I'm sure the students understand that in order to forge ahead, knowledge, perception, resilience, and to dream big is very essential, while also keeping in mind your value system and developing empathy in order to do the betterment of our society. Your words have ignited a spark within us, compelling us to take action and also filling us with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. We are very privileged to have the distinguished presence of our esteemed governor here today. Sir wishes to felicitate a few key members of the institution with certificates of appreciation. With great pleasure, I invite our Honourable Governor to step forward and present the certificates of appreciation. The first certificate of appreciation is awarded to IIEBM Indus Business School, Pune for being an outstanding B school in education for global citizenship. I humbly invite Dr. Jai Singh to accept the certificate on behalf of the institution. The next is a certificate of appreciation awarded to IIEBM Indus Champ School, Pune for outstanding initiatives in holistic school education. I also request Dr. Jai Singh to accept this certificate on behalf of the institution. Next up is the certificate for the Award of Excellence honoring Dr. Poonam Nikam, the Dean of Indus Business School, as the Innovative Director of the Year. We now have the Certificate of Excellence awarded to Mrs. Namrata Giani for outstanding leadership and consistent contribution towards students' holistic learning and school education. The Honourable Governor will now like to present a memento to IIEBM in this business school. I would now like to invite Colonel Vinod Marwa and Dr. Jai Singh to step forth and accept this memento. Thank you, sir. John Maxwell said, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." On behalf of IIEBM and everyone present here, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Sir. Your presence and words truly resonated with all of us, leaving a lasting impact on our hearts and minds. I would now like to request everybody to kindly rise for the national anthem.